Hi, I'm David Basson, and I'm going to tell you my theory about which Wolverine will be in the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie and how he failed his world. But first, I have to talk a little bit about incursions. Now, when I saw the interview with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman about how they're going to come together to make this movie, I was really excited. And when they told me they're also going to leave Old Man Logan alone...
Logan died in Logan. Not touching that.
I thought that was great too, because that was a really nice ending to that character. But suddenly we're seeing Wolverine again, and I thought it was quite obvious which Wolverine this is. This is the Wolverine from the second Deadpool movie. This Wolverine didn't get mind-wiped. Maybe he took a very different pathway. And in the trailer, they say Wolverine let down his entire world. I thought that was obvious too. Wolverine is the best he is at what he does, and what he does isn't very nice. And that is to kill. And when I started doing my research to do this video, I kept finding myself falling down all these weird rabbit holes. And the biggest rabbit hole I kept falling down was incursions and how they work. And most of the time, it had something to do with big fragile balls. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you how incursions work in a way that satisfies me, and then I'm going to tell you which Wolverine I think will be in this movie and how he failed his world. So let's get to the incursions, and when it comes to incursions, yes, I am going to be using big balls, but balls are just a really good way to explain the multiverse. In the MCU, the theme of incursions started with Spider-Man No Way Home, where one of Doctor Strange's spells go awry. It continued in the Multiverse of Madness, it was also featured in the Marvels, and continued on in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. In fact, incursions are a pretty big theme of the multiverse saga, and they're probably going to play a role in this movie as well. A lot of people are theorising this movie is going to be the big reset that Marvel needs. And to be fair, the MCU does need a bit of a reboot. That's what happens when you kill off the character which glues everything together, and the only possible replacement, he was also taken out. So now they're just left with Doctor Strange, and he's got some pretty big boots to fill there. Now before I go into my theory about how incursions work in the MCU, I want to explain how they work in the comics. There's a possible infinite amount of universes in the multiverse. Each universe can differ immensely, but one thing they all have in common is a predetermined birth and death. And somewhere along that timeline, a version of Earth is created and dies. So think of Earth as a prerequisite for a universe to exist. Everything is in perfect balance until outside interference causes an Earth to die before it's meant to. That destroys its universe and causes the entire multiverse to constrict, with the two adjacent universes now starting to crash into each other. There is a small 8-hour gap where the two universes do exist in harmony, but after that both universes crash and destroy each other. And this can cause a domino effect which can destroy the entire multiverse. The only way to restore balance in the multiverse is for one of the Earths to destroy the other in that small 8-hour window, bringing the universe back into balance. So if you're in a universe which is experiencing an incursion, you have no choice but to destroy the other universe's Earth, or be destroyed. And even though it's not stated that this is how they work in the MCU, it is hinted at. In the Multiverse of Madness, a big red planet is hovering over the top of Sinister Strange's post-incursion world, the same way that Black Panther saw an alternative Earth hovering over Wakanda in the comics. And Sinister Strange also said that he lost, implying that there was a multi-universal war. As for what we know about incursions in the MCU, we know they're caused by spells going awry, dreamwalking, and quantum bands. And also, possibly breaking unstoppable points. And notice how 2 out of the main 3 ways, and possibly a 4th way, involved Doctor Strange. In fact, in the Multiverse of Madness, Mr. Fantastic said,
"The greatest danger to the multiverse, it turns out, is Doctor Strange."
And I'll get back to that point a little later on. So when it comes to the MCU, this is my theory about what causes incursions. The same way objects in space gravitate towards each other, universes by nature are attracted to each other. Luckily, the fabric between the two universes stopped them from smashing. If you want to travel from one universe to another, you have to rip open part of that fabric between the universes to cross over. The two universes will attract each other just a little bit, But as long as that rip closed behind you, it's not going to be enough to cause any significant damage. This is how America in the Multiverse of Madness travelled from one universe to another without causing any damage. But just say you wanted to call your alternative self, you would need to tear open part of the fabric to establish that line of connection. And if left open for too long, the fabric between both universes will erode, leading to an incursion. This is why dreamwalking and spells that cross the multiverse are so dangerous. They rip open the fabric and leave those holes open. And as for quantum bands, well, they just rip holes and leave them as they are. I also mentioned that breaking unstoppable points could cause an incursion, but we haven't seen that yet in the MCU. So why did Mr. Fantastic think that Doctor Strange was the biggest threat to the multiverse? Because another Doctor Strange variant could just dreamwalk into that Doctor Strange. That's probably what Doctor Strange from 838 was thinking. His presence alone is a threat. But what the hell does this have to do with Wolverine? I mean, isn't this meant to be about Deadpool and Wolverine, this video? Well, before I get into that, I do want to ask, if you liked this video so far, please like and subscribe to my channel and comment below. So, here's my theory. I think Wolverine failed his world by not killing Doctor Strange. We can confirm that at least 2 variants of Doctor Strange has destroyed entire universes, with 838 Strange implying that he might have destroyed many, and the Doctor Strange from What If by breaking an unstoppable point. Even Doctor Strange from 616, the main Doctor Strange from the MCU, he almost caused an incursion in Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, I don't blame Peter, I blame Doctor Strange. He should have known what he was doing, he was a spellcaster. Peter, he's just a teenager. So this is how my theory all comes together. Deadpool went through the timeline and started messing everything up, causing an alternative universe where Vanessa is still alive. The TVA steps in and starts pruning universes, but along the way, recruits Wolverine to come help them take on their biggest universal threat, Doctor Strange. It's not as far-fetched as you think, because Wolverine did kill the Phoenix in X-Men Last Stand, a being of similar power to Doctor Strange. Now, unfortunately, the TVA and Wolverine didn't know what they were in for. Wolverine failed to kill Doctor Strange, and the TVA probably grabbed him at the last moment before that entire universe collapsed, and just dropped him off in another universe so he can wallow in sorrow. Now, if this is true, I actually blame the TVA, but like most big government agencies, they need a scapegoat, someone to throw underneath the bus, and that's who they throw underneath the bus, Wolverine. Say it was all his fault. Because, I mean, the TVA, they do have to look good. But I know what you're thinking. David, you look like someone I know. And yeah, I get that all the time. I'm the most generic looking white guy. But I know what you're also thinking. But there is no Doctor Strange in the X-Men universe. Well, not in the X-Men universe, but there is a Doctor Strange in the Sony universe, or at least it's been hinted at. In Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, Doctor Strange is mentioned.
Doctor Strange.
That's pretty good. But it's taken.
So who is Doctor Strange in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe? Bruce Campbell. I mean, he appears in all 3 Spider-Man movies. He was also in the game adaptations of the movies.
Welcome back, I guess. I'm sure you miss me more than I miss you.
Maybe Bruce Campbell Doctor Strange was helping Peter from the background. And to be fair, I would love to see a Bruce Campbell variant of Doctor Strange. That'd be pretty damn cool. Now, I know this theory is pretty tinfoil hat, but out of all the theories I was coming up with, it was just the one I had the most fun with. But it's not the only theory I came up with. What if the Kang Wars were caused by incursions? What if Wolverine was from the Sinister Strange universe? What if Cassandra Nova is trying to make her own team of Dark X-Men? If Deadpool is Marvel's Jesus, would that make Wolverine Marvel's Paul? Meaning he'll stick around and keep the universe glued together like Tony Stark did? And if true, I think Hugh Jackman's Wolverine could fill the boots of Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Is Vanessa's death an unstoppable point, which Wade keeps pushing back? And that's the reason why his universe is about to go to trash. If you want to hear some of my other harebrained theories which I researched, just put that in the comments below. But there is one last thing. How does Deadpool work? I mean, we saw him in one movie, and then he appears again completely differently, and then in the second movie he goes back and kills his alternative self. So how does Deadpool exist in two variants in the same universe? Well, the thing about Ryan Reynolds and his movies is he loves to give it all away at the start.
I know, right? Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie? I can't tell you, but it does rhyme with Pulverine. Balls did I have to fondle, balls did I have to fondle, balls did I have to fondle, balls, I have to fondle, Pulverine.
That's a theory that someone else can explore.